Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Cassie Villela, and I'm a realtor, property manager, and investor here in the San Antonio, Texas market. On my channel, we talk about everything real estate related. So if that's your cup of tea, then please click subscribe and like this video. Today, we're going to be talking about a brand new law that was just passed by the Texas legislature that is going to affect all Texas landlords. So if you are a landlord or property manager, then this law is going to apply to you and you need to know about it. So it doesn't go into effect until January 1st, but that just gives us a few months to update our standard operating procedures so that we can make sure that we're following this law. It's not a very difficult law. It's not going to create anything other than an additional piece of paperwork, but definitely is good to stay legal, make sure you're crossing all your T's and dotting all of your I's. So the law basically requires landlords to give tenants notice when the property is in a floodplain or the property has flooded in the past. I think it's a good law because, we do have to disclose to potential buyers if a property is in a floodplain or has flooded in the past. That is a requirement for sellers. It has been for a while. And that's because flooding is one of those things. It's not covered by normal homeowners insurance. And so it's something that, you really need to be aware of, and you need to get the special flood insurance if you're going to live in a home that could potentially flood. But that requirement has not been there for renters. And so renters, have not known like when they need to get flood insurance, and that's caused some problems. To give you an indication, this law, the author of this law was a legislator from the Houston area. So obviously Houston has struggles with flooding and has had a lot of renters affected by that. It's a good law overall. Basically, it's just requiring us to disclose to the tenant if there is a flooding hazard. Now, the bill itself gives very specific language, what the notice should say. It does. I thought when I first read it that maybe like the Texas Association of Realtors would just add this to the lease as like another checkbox, click yes if it's in a floodplain or not. I thought that's what might happen, but now that I'm reading it again, I see that it has to be a separate notice. So it can't be in the lease. It needs to be a separate notice, the way that it's written anyway. I'm just reading the bill text on Legiscan. It needs to be a separate notice, and then it gives really specific language that I will put in the description below. But basically, landlord is or is not aware that the dwelling you are renting is located in a 100-year floodplain. If neither box is checked, you should assume that the dwelling is in a 100-year floodplain. Even if the dwelling is not in a 100-year floodplain, the dwelling may still be susceptible to flooding. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, maintains a flood map on its internet website that is searchable by address at no cost to determine if a dwelling is located in a flood hazard area. Most tenant insurance policies do not cover damages or loss incurred in a flood. You should seek insurance coverage that would cover losses caused by a flood. So that's like what the bill text says has to be disclosed to the tenant. So basically, if the property is in a 100-year floodplain, or a little bit below this, it says if a property has flooded in the past 5 years. So whether or not it's in a floodplain, if it's flooded in the past 5 years, this notice needs to be given. You need to check in the affirmative that there is a flooding hazard. I kind of like that it also includes that tenant insurance policies don't cover flood hazards. So that kind of lets tenants know what they need to do. Although, I don't know how many tenants are going to read this, but, you should make it clear to them, like this is something you need to pay attention to. I think that basically we're going to add this as a form. I suspect that that maybe even TREC, but definitely the Association of Realtors will release a promulgated form that meets the requirements. I actually called them today to find out if that was in the works or what they thought or what we needed to do. And she said, hey, this bill just passed, like, give us a minute, basically. But I think that, it will probably be a promulgated form, but just in case it's not, make sure that any leases that you enter into after January 1st of this coming year, so January 1st, 2022, any leases that you enter into after that date need to have this disclosure. I would say even if it's not in a floodplain, you should have a page with this disclosure and just click or check the not aware box. So that's just something to add to your standard operating procedures. Hopefully, the TAR, Texas Association of Realtors, will release something so that we can kind of know that we're definitely doing it the right way. But just in case it's not, that's where the bill is. I will link the text of the bill and both the link to the full bill and this portion that it's requiring you to disclose. I'm going to put that in the description below. If you know anything else about this bill or you have any thoughts about it, then please leave a comment in the comment section. Otherwise, please remember to like if this was helpful to you and subscribe if you like this kind of content.